Hello everybody, today's video is about the 4 years I've been studying fine arts. First of all, I'm showing you the first day of my course, which was quite weird. The people were dressed up as bunnies and they were making like this small show for us, like as if we're like the new babies coming into the university, and that was so weird for me because I am not like a person who gets this stuff very often. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here and watch this, I guess. So yeah, I took some pictures and filmed it because it was quite funny for me. First, I'll explain something. Fine arts is when you get to try absolutely anything and everything from art, from performing arts to video editing to painting. And here you can see actually the performing art of part, of this course, which was a basically experimentation of performances, which in this specific one, me and my friends tried to put sand, stones and leaves together in one part to create nature. And this was what this performance meant. Next, you will see some videos from my video editing classes, which are quite funny in my opinion. Well, maybe the second video is not as funny as I remembered it to be, but that's that. That's what I made. And I want to also show the fun parts of my studies. We had a few like funny, nice outings in the university, like little parties we made that we sang karaoke, and it was really, really, really fun. Also, let's really hope that this video doesn't get copyrighted because of this karaoke night. Besides the karaoke, there were some gloomy days, but people went ice skating on a lake, which I've never seen before, which was really fun. And here, I was actually having my first ever viewing, which is when we show our art to our classmates and also to our teachers and have a nice talk about it. And it was so amazing and I was so excited. It was like something completely new to me, so I was really happy. Well, moving on, I'm going to show you some of the artworks I was making in the second half of the first year. So this was like all new techniques to me, like making paper or like, for example, making monotypes, which includes chemicals, which was kind of scary, but I got used to it eventually. And these were some of the techniques I most liked. And here you can see me actually making a lino, which was my second lino I ever made in my whole life, which was the start of everything for me. It's when I found out I wanted to start printmaking. And here you see me making my also first silkscreen print, which is when you expose this mesh, which is covered with a very like UV sensitive material, and you create a design or a pattern, and then you take paint on top of it, and the mesh is exposed in certain parts so the paint passes through and you can create a perfect print. And this was the first time I made it, so it didn't look perfect, but it looked pretty okay actually, and I was really happy with it. And now I'm gonna show you my results. So I was not a professional, you know, so I tried different techniques with different colors, and here is what I made with silkscreen. It was different to the normal printmaking I'm used to now, so I didn't work with this technique a lot in these years, but I wouldn't mind working on it again in the future because it was so fun to do this, besides needing all the materials, of course. And here is my finished lino cuts. So after I printed everything, I made different colors, some black, some purple, some sunsetty colors, and it was just a linocut of mountains at the time. I didn't really know why I made it, because it was like my very first prints. So I was just experimenting at the moment that I made these. And I was so happy with them actually. And I think that's why I went on to make my own paper and to make prints on it. So yeah. Now you're seeing us just playing with the ice at the lake again, because it was so fun actually to see this. It was awesome, because me and my friend never did that before. In the same year, we went to Art Rotterdam, which is a big intervention in Rotterdam, full of famous artists and galleries, and then you can talk to the people that own the galleries and stuff and show them your art, maybe get an opportunity, you know. So we went there, and this machine had artworks in it, so I wanted to naturally buy one. So that was super fun actually. And we bought one with my friend. So yeah, it was just fun to know that you can do this from a vending machine. This was the whole point of his artwork. And we saw like hundreds of thousands of art that day, and it was so overwhelming and so many people, but at the same time it was like so much fun. Like everybody should go there once in their life. Expensive ticket for free for us because we went with university, but it was epic. And back to silkscreen. So I wanted this time to make some grandmas and to see how they go with a different silkscreen method of cutouts, which is the method I went to use a lot later on actually, not in silkscreen but in different printing methods, which was quite fun. And these are the results, and I went again on top of them with different colors, but this was just again experimental. First year, actually I think this was second year, because I started to do sculpture also, which was also incredible, but not for me actually. I tried it out to just see how it would feel, to see what was going on. Like maybe I have a gift in sculpture and in clay and stuff, since my country uses a lot of clay to make a lot of vases and stuff. But it was not for me, sadly. It's using clay. We also made this miniature like cities that were like burned down, and they were really cool because we used to put a green screen and make a little video out of it. Sadly I lost my video, but here is what I made, and this is my city. And as you can see, it's a bit inspired from The Last of Us, because I was watching it at the time. So yeah, it was really cool to make this, a bit work intensive. And now we're back at printing. First time making a monotype, which I loved, quite frankly. And now we're back at clay. So this day was just full of different like stuff that I made. And I was making a cup because our assignment was to make somewhere that you can plant something in. And you saw the sculpture that I made before, that was also a pot that I used to plant in, but I decided to make that, and that the plant would drip outside of the head and go in this cup. So that was quite awesome actually. I really liked this work, hence it's in the video. And here I'm applying paint to then put it in the crown, which goes into like very high temperatures to basically put the color onto the cup, to glaze it. That's how it's called, glazing. Here is me just finishing off the lady that I made with the head that's open for the plant. And little did I know this artwork was going to break, so I would have to make it again. Because when you leave air bubbles in clay and it goes in the kiln, then it explodes actually. So next, here is me making my portfolio, my very first portfolio, which is so sad because it's nothing like what it looks now. I tried to just put everything and anything in there, which is not the way to go. It's just I didn't know who I was yet in art, so I just put all my stuff that I was making And of course, over the years, I have explored many ways of making a portfolio, which you can also see on my website, which is always linked down below in the description. And yeah, this was so fun actually, because I had talks with my teacher on how to improve and how much text I need to put, etc. And yeah, this was quite awesome actually to learn how to do this whole portfolio thing. And I must say it's very intense, but each portfolio, because there's not only one, each portfolio gives something different to the viewer, which is fun. And of course, back to monotyping, you can also monotype with a picture, so you're copying the picture on paper basically. And this was extremely difficult to make because the paint dries out very fast. And here was my first result, which, don't get me wrong, I know, not the best result, but it was at least something. And she did show, the lady showed, which was nice. And I, at the same day, decided to transfer a picture of a turtle onto some cardboard just to see how it looks. And it was fine, but it wasn't very artsy, so yeah, I decided that I'm not gonna ever show this anywhere except on YouTube, basically. Because it's experimentation, and that's all you need to do in those first few years. Of course, I did countless of sketches for paintings, and this was one of them, which I filmed actually. I don't usually film my sketching because I find it to be very sacred process. And here I'm also trying another different method of printing, which I'm actually not sure how to call. So I'm not gonna give you a name for it, but you can see my process, of course. And it's basically printing a picture from a photocopy. So as you can see, I'm putting some gum arabic, that's how it's called, on the picture itself, so it can become, let's say, a bit sticky. So then the paint that I'm gonna put over it can stick to it. So here I'm applying a bit of water, so the stickiness can be more, it can be way more sticky than usual. So when you do this, then you shouldn't touch it, and you should just apply your layer of paint, and then you can print with it, which is awesome. And I found this printing method very fun to do, because you could do many, and you could rip the paper a bit, and you could do all these experimental things, which was pretty awesome. And you don't need that much paint actually. Here is the first result, which I'm actually printing over again to get a very distorted look. So here it goes. And I'm also, by the way, printing it on a press, which means that I'm gonna put a layer of paper on top and then a layer of a very flexible mat, which is a very specific type of material, and then you roll it so it can really actually tightly press it through, so it can print very well. So now I'm rolling it over to the other side, and here are my results. I made a few of them. These are just 3, but I'm very happy with them. And we're going on to painting. I started off my painting, let's say, career by making realistic paintings, and also doing photography. Of course, here's a small intervention of me going to the nature around my university and just looking at some horses and some cows. Well, mostly horses. And of course I had to sit a bit, and this dog was just so cute. I couldn't stand him, he was adorable. And as I said, we did a lot of different things. So here are sculptures, photography, paintings, and this is mine. The other two, the pictures were mine, but this was the biggest work I was very happy with. And my sculpture, of course, we also did a lot of this. sculptures, which are very fun because you had to collage and put things together, and yeah, it was a way to find out that I didn't like sculpture. And here is my studio in the second year. So we moved on to the second year now, which is quite exciting. And this, oh my god, it took so long. So the first assignment was to take an already made sculpture and ruin it.
One eternity later.
So we can learn how to basically ruin our darlings. That's how they called it. So yeah, this took ages. After that, they told us to make something with the pieces that we took out. So I made this little like thing. I think it's a keychain. Yeah, something like that. And I put raisin, I think it's called raisin, into this like form of this thing, and I just made this small keychain. And now you can see it hardening, so it can come out of its silicone case. It was quite fun to make it. I still have it actually. It's just a cool little thing I made. Looks nice. This is a museum day, which was quite fun. The only thing I took from the museum day was this, literally. But it was fun. And here I am getting my probaidosa, which is when you complete your first year of university. It's like the confirmation you completed it and that you can move on to the rest of your studies, so the rest of the years, which is a big thing, because if you do not get this, you need to do the whole first year again. So I was extremely happy that day, and my friend was taking so many pictures of me, and my boyfriend was making the video, and I was like, yes, finally I completed this and I can continue. And there I'm just handshaking with the head of fine arts. To celebrate, of course, we went to a festival, so we had very nice music there. And these weird fish guys were there, which was so cool. It's an art by itself. Next day, we were taking some pictures of our plants, but at a microscopic level, which was insanely cool. And I still have those pictures, and I'm still using them actually in my art. Here you can see me adjusting the camera so I could take a perfect photo. And it was so experimental and amazing. This was called Biolabs Biomatters, Matters of Life and Death, and it was an amazing lesson. It was more biology rather than art, but all these shapes and geometrical things and stuff like in these shapes, in this like living things, was just insanely amazing to look at. And here is my other plant, which is like a pinkish plant. I think it's a begonia, it's called. And I saw that it was like moving and crawling, and that was epic to see this. I think this was actually one of the best things I did in this university. Even though it was like an art course, it's more like biology, but it was insanely cool. Some last pictures of this project, and here we go on to see some sheep, some babies. They're so cute, and it was just a hard day, so I decided to go in nature and just look at these beautiful creatures and calm down. Here is the Van Gogh Times Rebrand experience, and it's about talking about their life and how they came together. And this church was the church that not Rembrandt, Van Gogh used to go and pray in, and it's just a beautiful story.
Sunflowers, filling the tiny room, along with a pretty bed, everything else, all very elegant.
So yeah, we were laying on the floor with pillows of the church and watching this beautiful landscape go onto the walls of the church, and it was one of the best experiences I had, to be honest. And here is my inspiration. This is something I made after that. Here is some artworks I made. These are printed with a lino on my own paper that I handmade. And going on to this project with the oranges, it was a very cool project and I really liked it because I made little capsules of Aphrodite's perfume. And later on that day we went to a fashion show in Concordia, which was really cool. And it was nice to see how this artist made this clothes from recycled materials, and it was interesting to say the least. Maybe I didn't like everything, but it was interesting. They were so confident. It was so cool. And here are my oranges after they came out from the kiln. And I am actually putting the glaze on, and I decided to just make them look like they're dripping, and to make it look more like a capsule, let's say, and not like realistic, fully realistic oranges. I wanted them to look kind of weird, let's say, like not finished completely, or that they could break at any moment, so fragile. And here they're ready to go in the kiln. I cannot never say this word. And here they are when they are finished. The color changed completely and I didn't think it would, but I really like them anyway. And yeah, I used them in my project actually, and I made a nest full of oranges, and they were like going and then falling and then breaking and releasing this lavender scent. And here is just my work on my studio walls in the third year, so we moved on. And here is another project I made, again with like silk screen, but on tiles this time, so it was way more difficult, but beautiful project, honestly. And here I'm giving you a view of my most recent artworks, actually in the fourth year. And here I was doing some just calming down, I call it, work, because it helps my soul just calm down and relax. This was a flowing artwork, so wherever my hand went and whatever it felt like doing, it did. And it was just beautiful to do this, and it was very sentimental for me because it really showed the state of mind I was in on those moments, and it was very different to my original works, and I usually never work with just black and white, so this was a change for me. Here is my very first exhibition. I made the 5-year-old me proud. I finally got to show my work to the public, and it was the best week of my life, to be honest with you. Here we're setting up my works with my 2 best friends, and I was just so excited to have this exhibition, honestly. I was full on like going to just talk about my work and everything, and I was so ready for this. It was the perfect timing. And here is my opening speech. Have in mind, it's my first exhibition. Good afternoon. My name is Nicolina Garula, and I'm so grateful that you all took the time to come here today. It really means a lot to me because from the age of 5 I wanted to have an exhibition, and it's a big accomplishment in my life. And and just enjoy and have fun. This was the last day of my exhibition, and it's very bittersweet. It was amazing, and now I'm actually gonna start taking down my work. So, yeah. This was the end of my exhibition, so you heard the start and the end in one go. First work down. So first artwork down, very sad moment for me. But everything comes to an end at some point. And here I was so hyped for my exhibition, I just started making new artwork straight away. So that was really, really nice because it motivated me so much to keep going. When, you know, sometimes you just want to give up because things are getting extremely hard. Well, this was this moment for me. And to celebrate this motivation, we went to an after party. And of course, when one opportunity arises, many more come your way. So here is my second duo exhibition, me and my friend as artists. It was amazing. Let's hear the opening speech. So, as I said, these memories, these leaves are also decaying and falling apart. So I wanted to show that these memories will always be a part of me. But also I wanted to show that inside the umbrella, even though they are falling and getting destroyed slowly, because I'm also growing older and I forget some stuff. Memory, yeah. So I put inside these little crystal beads and this book, which for me is a sentimental value that I will always have my safe space under this umbrella. Even if the world comes falling onto me, for example, I will still feel safe somewhere I call home. So even if that is my home in Cyprus, my parents, my family, whoever it is, I will still have a safe space. And this is what I'm trying to really show with this umbrella.
So as you say, it's a safe space, but it's hanging, it's tilting a bit.
Yeah, because nothing stays the same in life, I think we all know that. So eventually things will leave, even though it's sad, it will go and I will have to deal with that. So even though it's kind of like falling apart, there needs to be something whole.
Thank you.
And here we go on to my internship, which I had to do many jobs, of which one was to make talks about other artists' works. So here you will see a short clip of that, and it was so fun. I loved doing this, actually, my favorite part of my internship. You can see the clock behind her and other small details, which are characteristics that are like a moving stage within space. So slowly, this work basically breaks down into just wooden pieces, wooden fragments. And while there are blurring lines between the story of the sculpture, so you won't be able to tell what the story completely is, the artist treats it as a sculpture, even though it's a real painting. So it's a mindset. It's a space where light, movement, and reflection are all tied together. And these topics are very personal to the artist, and they border topics of basically art and her own life and how she really feels about our world. So, of course, at my internship, I had to do many different jobs, like being at the bar at Expo by Night, which is a night that you get to experience the exhibitions in the space. And I was there to guide people, basically. And we go on to my third exhibition, which was my best exhibition so far, and I was so happy with it. Honestly, putting up the works meant so much to me, and also the people that were there to help me were really understanding the pain in my works, so I was so happy. Here is my talk that I gave about my exhibition. I'll let you listen to it. It's a bit in Dutch first, and then I go and talk in English. So this was a very meaningful moment to me, as you can tell.
I understand that Locked in Time is a very special project for you.
Yes, it is indeed.
And maybe you would like to tell yourself what it is for you, what it means to you, and then we can get an idea about all the other kind of works and also the special things you are preparing, from photography to collages and other things,
Yes.
other art pieces you produce.
So basically, Locked in Time, which are those photographs in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, correct. 5 photographs. They're about. I was visiting Kikos, which is a village in my home country on the mountains, for since I was a child. And I knew that this specific woman that we know in my family lives there. So the last time I visited her was in 2019. Which was right before COVID. And I went there, I saw her, she was very okay, she was knitting actually. And then I came to the Netherlands to study, and COVID hit basically. And so I spent 2 years in the Netherlands without going back to my home country. And when I went back, we went to the village with my parents again to just see like how it is now, how different it is, where are the people, what's happening. And I noticed that the house basically had this chain on it. And I was shocked by it because I was like, why? I know that this woman lives here, like what's going on? And the windows were all closed with cardboard, so you couldn't really see anything. So I just went basically and I tried to like look inside from like bricks that were missing from the building or from the little cracks in the door. And I noticed that all the furniture, like it was still there, everything was starting to get destroyed. And the woman basically was gone, and there was this huge dent in her bed, which I instantly understood that she's gone, you know, she's passed away. And when I saw that, I really got basically scared, let's say. And it was like the first time I was directly confronted with somebody just passing away, and someone that you didn't exactly know very well, but still, like, you saw them every day, so like now they disappeared. And yeah, I just wanted to capture how the house was just stuck in that time, so the stillness in the house, which for me looked basically the same, but now it just went moldy and it started getting destroyed because no one really took care of it anymore. The children didn't want to take care of it, and they didn't care about the house anymore, so it was just starting to get completely destroyed. So that's actually one of the works that made me start to take more photography, to make more pictures of like just moments of our lives that we take for granted and that we don't really care about. So I wanted to just capture some of these moments and preserve them because, first of all, I'm never going to be able to go back to them. And second of all, they're really special to me because even if it's not happiness, they bring me some sort of emotion, which is something to gain from this life. So yeah, my exhibition is mostly it's pictures of my home country, and the artworks here are a way of interpreting the photographs and a way of having a feeling attached to these photographs. So I express it within my artwork here today.
The photos on this wall,
Yes.
they also have a certain connection. You use told me something about it yesterday, and I was really struck with your story. People also like to hear that this is a kind of no man's land, actually, right? So, yeah, it was very intriguing to me.
Yeah, so basically this work signifies areas in my neighborhood because, okay, my home country, Cyprus, is divided into two sides, the Turkish side and the Greek side, which I am from the Greek side. And I live right next to the Green Line, what is the Green Line? It's basically where UN soldiers are with their AK-45s, and if you dare to go into that zone, from the Turkish side we will get shot, and the Turkish people will get shot from my side. So it's these photographs represent basically how just right outside of that zone are people normal like me, my mom, my father, my family living. Same on the other side, there's normal people living, but then there's a line that was literally drawn on the map that these people decided that, you know what, even if your house was there, like you're not allowed to be here anymore, so get out, find a house, find a way to live. So as the photographs go, they get a bit more intense with topics of this. So you see how beautiful a country can be, and then it goes to stuff that are never basically spoken about, or if they are, with me at least, like I knew that the war happened, obviously, but because we are very conservative in my home country, I had no idea, for example, that my grandpa was a soldier in the war, and that my mom had to take refuge with my grandma. I had no idea that my grandpa was alive or dead, so who knows. The other thing is that these pictures represent all these nice moments in life that you really, really like, you want to treasure, you want to remember, but also the moments that you see something and you feel kind of shocked by it, but you say, okay, you know what, it's the past, so we leave the past behind and we continue with something positive as much as we can. So instead of reminiscing for the past only, we look forward to things too, because things can get better, and things will get better. So, yeah.
Thank you very much for sharing the story with all of us. It's not always easy for you probably to say, but it is really the meaning behind all your photos.
Exactly. And of my artwork as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. No.
Thank you.
So let's open the exhibition, and I'm sure Nicolina is willing to answer all your
Yes, all of your questions, and thank you for being here today. I am really happy that everybody's here to just see or to be a help for me, and yeah, anything you want I can answer and we can talk about it.
And here's some background information for everybody.
There you can get a
take
flash, exactly, or sign the book if you want, that you have been here and you witnessed this exhibition. So yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Well done.
That same day, I put my booklets out on sale, which was another big step for me. Going back to the exhibition, the story I gave about the moment was basically a way to translate the story of my grandpa, who passed away during COVID. And it was a way to say that things are not permanent in life and we should enjoy them while they are there. So yes, I wanted to translate it into a different story, so I wouldn't tell everybody exactly a certain specific story. And here we are going to back to my internship, and I am putting down an exhibition, actually 3 exhibitions alone, and this was actually some of the boring, let's say, work of my internship, and also painful. And here I put up with others a new exhibition called Chronicle, and I was just having a bit of fun with how the light was going on to the canvas. So here I'm making paintings, finally in my 4th year of my school, and I was making a lot of things for my exhibition, which will be in June, and it's called Aki Finals because it's where all students from all departments that are graduating exhibit their work. And I'm very, very, very excited for it because I will make a very beautiful exhibition with an installation in it, which is just amazing. And the installation will have lavender and dried flowers, and then my canvases will just make the whole space feel, let's say, alive. I'm not gonna give more hints because what is to come will come. And if you want, you can come see my exhibition at Aki in Enschede, which is quite cool. So here I am painting this very sentimental canvas. While being in this university, I really found out who I am as a person, what's inside of my feelings. When somebody paints, writes, or plays music, they're translating their internal experiences, and that's something I really saw within myself. And also, think about Vincent van Gogh. His work didn't just depict landscapes, it revealed his emotional state. When you create, patterns just appear, and the recurring colors and moods or ideas in those patterns can tell you what you care about and what you're avoiding maybe, or what you're struggling with. And it really creates a safe space to explore your identity through fiction or self-portraits or even abstract themes, abstract art. This are different versions of yourself that you get to find out and explore. Also, writers like Kafka explored alienation and identity through surreal stories, not because he had answers, but because the process helped them examine those feelings from a distance. You can really, really find out who you are through this. And art slows you down in a way. So in a world that pushes you to be quick with your decisions and a constant input in your brain, and making or even just engaging with art forces you to reflect. And for example, looking at something like the Starry Night, it isn't about solving it. It's about noticing your reaction, what draws you in, what feels uncomfortable. Your responses are clues about your inner world. There's also the emotional angle, of course. Sometimes people don't find themselves through logic, but through feeling. Those emotions that were buried or ignored come out through this process. And once those emotions are visible, they're so much easier to understand and integrate into your sense of self. And of course, finally, art builds a narrative. Humans understand themselves through stories, whether it's journaling or photography or filmmaking, whatever, honestly. Art lets you shape your experiences into a coherent story. And that process, deciding what matters, what connects and what changes, helps define who you are. And this is what I've been experiencing throughout these years. So art doesn't magically reveal a fixed true self, of course. It gives you a tool though to notice and test and refine who you are over time. So this is a really big part of what I learned in these 4 years, in these studies. And I really appreciate this art that I make because of this, and that's why sometimes also it's very difficult to sell my art. And 4 years of art school, there's some things that really actually stayed with me. I thought I'd leave knowing exactly what my style is, and I do know what my style is, but I also don't at the same time. What I did learn is how to keep showing up, even when I hate what I'm making, though. I learned that basically feedback can hurt also, but it helps you to see your work differently. And that being surrounded by talented, very talented people can either inspire you or make you doubt yourself like 100 times more. No one really taught me how to sell my art also and grow on platforms like Instagram or Etsy. I had to figure that out myself, and I'm still figuring that part out because I haven't even had one sale on Etsy. And even though these things are happening, I did learn how to sing and how to experiment and how to be okay with not having everything figured out. And I'm still learning, just not in the classroom anymore, you know? And also, like, I learned that, like, I need to be a 24/7 working, because being an artist is not a 5 to 9 job, it's a very big job. So I was thinking about all these things when I was painting, and I decided that these are the thoughts and the things that come up half a year before graduating, because after all it was a very, very, very big experience, even though not everything was perfect, but I learned a lot from it and I'm happy I did. So after this whole painting and thinking and daydreaming, I decided that I just need to take a chill pill and calm down, you know? So I went to the forest to just see some beautiful deers just in their natural habitat. Enough about the deers. So now I'm gonna show you my very first paintings in my university till the last ones. So here we see that I'm a bit confused clearly about what I'm making, and I'm making a lot of different things to just experiment. I was very in this cubism phase of my art, which I didn't actually like because I couldn't find who I was, and slowly I started putting more of myself in my paintings, my feelings, my memories, my side, how I see like everything, confusion in this one specifically. Here, like this very like weird witchy vibes, like all these things that I could like relate to. So I could slowly find myself. Here I was experimenting with Cypriot coffee cups and the little coffee that stays under, and what can happen with that. You know, like all these different types of things, printing methods. And then I decided, okay, you know what, let's go to our roots, let's go to Greece and Cyprus. Let's see if I print the Parthenon, what will happen? Will it be better? And indeed it was. So then I took different leaves from trees from my home country, and I decided to print with them and experiment with them, and I found it. I finally found it here. So here I was printing my own photographs, my own memories with the jelly plate onto the leaves, because leaves have this fleeting nature, this nature of them falling and disappearing into the ground, decomposing, like my memories do, because I do not remember everything from when I was a child, and this nostalgia just takes me back to the days when I used to be on a swing or when I used to be with my family. And I wanted to showcase how these moments are fleeting and you cannot have them back, so you better cherish them. So that's why I printed them on leaves. And then I just tried to do way more printing with a lot more memories. And it all came down to my canvases. And I clicked. I found what I was meant to be doing this whole time. I was meant to be conveying memories and conveying feelings through memories, and through these printing methods and painting with colors, and showing this very like intense emotions I have inside of me on these canvases. And that's exactly what I did. I learned that it's not a one-way road. You're not just gonna make happy things, which I was trying to do at first, And I started showing my true emotions, who I really am, and what really happens inside of my life, and real memories of mine. And it all worked out for me perfectly. I just needed to be true with myself and true to who I am in my paintings. And I found myself. And I was really happy about this, because this was my aim through these studies, to find myself and to find myself through my paintings, because my paintings are the whole world to me. They are what makes me, my authentic self. And if I wouldn't paint, I would simply go crazy. Painting is the way for me to take out everything that's happening in my life. And I'm really thankful that I got this opportunity to find this true self within the art. And this is my last painting I made recently, which is nothing like my normal paintings, but I just wanted to make it, so why not, you know? Don't have to take it to any gallery or whatever. And yeah, thank you for being here with me today. This was my complete journey through this university. This was a awful long video, awfully long I mean, and I hope you enjoy it. If you don't, that's still fine. I'm just happy to share this with you. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you get something, even a little something out of this. Make your dreams come true, honestly, this is what I'm trying to say. So thank you for watching, and have a good day. Bye.